regardless of the fact that there were 6 giant meat-eating lions sitting around there just patiently waiting for him to take his eyes off that light. And the other is a hymn. When my grandmother, as an adult, I asked her for a hymn book. And when I'm in my deepest despair, I sing that song. And I'm just going to read you the poem part of it, for you to understand where I go with it. It says, "Shepherd, show me how to go over the hillside steep, how to gather, how to sow, how to feed my sheep." The thing is, before I start the treatment steps, Dr. Craig Carter in the Practitioner's Handbook said that behind every condition is a belief. And if you can change the belief, you can change the condition. The thing is that I don't believe that Spirit hears our words, because our vibration speaks louder than words. Our body language. When we're walking down a street, we can see on the faces of the people whether they're in pain, whether they're feeling joy, whether they're feeling that they're freshly in love. All of that stuff shows up on their face, doesn't it? So, as lights, we vibrate. And it is our beliefs, our desires that we hold in our heart that brings us what we want. So if we don't believe that we deserve abundance, the universe answers that with no problem. So if you have tools, you can change those beliefs, change your understanding of who you are, which is God, God-man, and then all of a sudden you watch your life change, because the universe wants us to be happy. It wants us to it wants us to have fun. We're here for that. But so many of us take the contrast that comes naturally in a positive way to push us along in our greater evolution so we can experience greater and greater good, and we sit with it. Dr. Richelieu from the Religious Science Church down in Redondo Beach said years ago, and I just laughed out loud, I think most of us did, in the 23rd Psalm it says, "Walk through the valley of the shadow of death." It does not say, "Take a picnic basket." So,
they grew up together.
and we can put these in the book if you guys, or in the newsletter if you guys just want to refresh. Those 2 of you that don't know. The first one is recognition. The phrase is God is. God is the source of life, unlimited power, unlimited love. The second one is declaration and is unification. I am. I am that which is all there is. I cannot escape it. It is not outside of me. I can never be separate from it, because it is what I am. It acts through me. It is me. It is us. That word is I am. That call phrase. Declaration and realization. I initiate my life's experiences through my thought. That is, I accept that this is right. The third thing is thanksgiving. I joyfully accept what's happening in my life because I know that the law is acting through me, through my thoughts. And that is, I give thanks. One of the reasons I love Abraham's teachings is because one of the things that he says is you can always, no matter where you are, even if you're in the valley of the shadow, you can find a better way a better thought to think. There was an Al-Anon meeting I went to many, many, many years ago, and the woman's life was just down the toilet. I mean, she had a great many challenges. And she said, the only thing I can tell you that I can be grateful for today is that my car runs. And we all laughed and we said, that's a big one. So there's always some place, some way that you can feel better. Even if it's just watching the hummingbirds dive bombing each other out in the yard. There is a way there's a thought you can think that will pull you out of where you are if you'll give it that thought. There's some friends of mine, that I'm self-employed, and a friend, her husband is a backhoe driver, and he was panicking because he had nothing on the books. And his wife said something that I carry with me today. She said, you were only one phone call away from prosperity. And I made it so simple. It was so simple and so beautifully said. So the last part is release. When we say, and so it is, that's because we are willing to accept God is, I am, what was the third one? Anybody know?
I
accept. Thank you. I give thanks, and so it is. So take those rampages of appreciation, really take a good look at how you are loved, how that if you will merely give yourself enough space to say, I have the power to change this by changing the way I think about it. I'm going to pull one of my tools out of my little basket of goodies, and I'm just going to focus on that. And I'm going to find things to appreciate today, to give thanks for, even if everything looks gray and dismal. Some way you can feel better. I was in a sweat lodge one time, and I heard this man's prayers, and it moved me deeply. He was a recovering drug addict, an alcoholic, and he began with his toes. And so I was so deeply affected by his prayer. There's anything and everything we can find to be grateful for, regardless of what the appearance of what we're looking at is. And remember that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. I was with a friend a few weeks ago. We were coming through the Pacheco Pass, and she was listening to one of those, talk shows, David Webb or Hannity or one of those. And I watched this woman absolutely vibrating with fear about what is to come with the election and the condition of the planet and the condition of the country and da-da-da-da-da-da. And something made me turn my head and look out the window. And the clouds were blowing by. It was a beautiful day. The sun was glistening off the golden hills. A truck was on his way to destination, and I said, this is my now. This doesn't exist, what she's doing to herself. This is my now. And that helped me to detach. Because I don't get to judge her journey. If she needs to scare herself to death, perhaps there's something of value. There's a nugget of something there for her. I don't get to evaluate it. I don't get to judge it. I don't even sometimes understand how it is that some of the things that I'm working with have brought me here. And I'm surprised. I'm surprised, and I did not know that was here, like when I became a minister. So take these tools. This particular belief system gives us such grand tools. Who, in the dark ages for the last 2,000 years, has been able to take Jesus' talks and take them into ourselves, and that we are able to say, that's me. I can walk this way with my source, in me, working as me, through my thoughts, and I can change my experience right here and right now. And so I'm going to close with a little poem that I heard at an Al-Anon meeting many, many years ago, and a couple of bits have stayed with me. It's another tool I use, but it is so sweet, I had to share it with you. And again, if you want it, we'll put it in the newsletter. As children bring their broken toys with tears for us to mend, I brought my broken dreams to God because He was my friend. But then instead of leaving Him in peace to work alone, I hung around and tried to help with ways that were my own. At last I snatched them back and cried, how could you be so slow? My child, He said, what could I do? You never did let go.